This journey begins as you might expect, as a prisoner at an excavation site. The task today was to transport these big cubic stones, and after spending an ungodly amount of time in this hellhole of a place, the opportunity of a lifetime presented itself.
Perhaps we ought to investigate.
A Medusa had raided the excavation site because it needed more stone statues for its collection. I was not going to be one of them. Also, I think now is a good time to mention that I have not played the first game, so I have no idea what this game really is about. But we will learn together. I will hold your hand. I have no idea what its attacks are, so I'm just trying to stay far away. Stay out of the red light, no problem. After getting some third-degree burns, the Medusa decided to flee. And then some random mystical guy showed up and started telling me that I should flee because I have a responsibility to fulfill, but can't remember anything about it because I was cursed to forget. And then he referred to me as Arisen, whatever that means. My mother always told me don't listen to strangers, but staying in this hellhole is far worse. And that I did. And we were carried away by the soaring griffin. So, who the hell is this? I love it when the game tells you nothing. Welcome to Dragon's Dogma 2, everyone. And of course my welcome into this world that I never knew existed was cut short by some random people. I woke up from the fall only to observe my friend get slowly consumed by some weird blood-looking mist thing that rose out of the water. Apparently it's called brine, and he said he'll be fine, somehow. And his last words were,
Truly the Arisen, then our paths will surely cross again.
A griffin appears one moment and falls the next. And now you stand before me. Then, the one who was riding on its back. 'Tis a wonder you survived.
And after hearing those words, I knew from that moment, these people were the culprits. They shot me out of the sky. The question is why? There were some savage goblins in our path, so I had to burn them to a crisp. A barbecued goblin. Yeah, I think I can do it some of that. What can I say, okay? I woke up in a prison cell, carried some big stones, fought a Medusa, ran for my life, jumped off a cliff, flew on a griffin, got shot out of the sky, and it's only 6 AM. So, yeah. Oh yes, burn, baby! Some more roasted goblins later, I made it to their stronghold. Me being the Arisen theme continued because these guys were saying that I am the Arisen. I don't know what that is, and they were so ready to help me. So I wondered to myself, do these pawns, can they actually sense my presence? Because no one else refers to me as the Arisen. I mean, come on, these guys seem to know a lot more about me than I do. I learned all about a riftstone. It is essentially a gateway to another realm. The realm of the pawns. That is how they are able to get into this world, apparently for the sole purpose of helping me, the Arisen. After summoning a main pawn to be by my side throughout my adventure, I learned that I have some sort of deep connection to some great dragon, which attacked a place called Melv not too long ago. So I set out for Melv to find out exactly what happened. This pawn was kind enough to tell me that the Arisen is destined to slay the great dragon. As to why they are calling me that is still unknown.
Take me as your shield, Arisen. Upon my fighter's pride, no foe shall harm you while I yet stand.
Oh yeah? Well, let's test that then. As I was leaving, I overheard these guys talking about how they sent out recruits to deal with the overwhelming monster populations, and I thought I'd help, because I don't really have anything better to do. And if I am truly the Arisen, and is destined to battle a great dragon in some extraordinary battle that will shock this world, I'm gonna need to practice. So I'll take any opportunity I get to bust some heads. After helping their first recruit, they wanted me to join their forces. But I have a dragon to prepare against. I don't have time for that. Traveling on foot took quite a while, but I finally made it to the town of Melv. Upon my arrival here, I started hearing strange voices in my head. Then I got flung back in time to that moment where the dragon raided the village. And that is how I became the Arisen. And in that moment, the dragon's fate was entwined with mine, and our paths became destined to cross once again. When I awoke, I learned that there is a fake Arisen residing in the capital. Inns are places I can rest at to recover all of my maximum health. But considering these prices, I'm gonna take the bench outside. At an inn, I can also change vocations, which are like classes, and each class has their own specializations in battle. And I can also switch out active skills, which are the things that you would mostly use in combat. And I chose to stick with mage, because magic. And there is naught that magic can't achieve, as some of the pawns would say. It's pretty early on in the game, so I barely have anything unlocked. If you think I should have used a different vocation, be sure to let me know. And then I set off for my next destination, which was the capital, to deal with this imposter. The journey was long, and it was difficult. And I found a camping kit which I can use at a campsite for the same benefits as resting at an inn. The only difference with the campsite is that it's in the wilderness, which means there's a chance that while you're resting, you can get raided by hostile creatures. Of course, I chose not to camp out here because, considering how early it is in the game, I probably won't survive my first raid. After several more goblin encounters and some harpies, I decided to take a rest because all of that battle made me tired. And also because I didn't want night to catch me. You can never know what's lurking in the darkness until it finds you. Our path was blocked by a wall and a Cyclops. I roasted that Cyclops to a crisp with my fire spells and made way for the capital.
Goblins! What rotten luck! We've need of your aid against her.
My oxcart trip was interrupted by some random goblins, which was, yes, barbecued. I finally made it to the capital where I met Captain Brandt, who seemed very intimidating. He believed that I am the real Arisen, unlike everyone else in town. He informed me of the current situation and why I am where I am at this time. He said that when I became the Arisen, the Queen of Vernworth, that is, the capital, saw that as a threat, so they kidnapped me and made me forget everything I know with a fell curse. And because the Arisen can't be killed by mortal hands and is the rightful ruler of Vernworth, they decided to sell me and my brainless self as a slave to some place, also that she and her family can continue ruling, as if I never existed. And he also knows that the current person who is supposedly the Arisen is in fact a fake.
This rumour has been troubling me ever since I first caught wind of it. Apparently, there is an illness we pawns can catch beyond the rift that makes us a danger to ourselves and others. Symptoms include an unruly attitude and overconfidence, and in the end, we turn our backs on our master and our duty.
How terrible. We shall have to be alert for signs of the sickness among our number.
And as you might guess, I have absolutely no idea what that was about. Captain Brandt and I had a private conversation where he told me that if I am to prove my identity in front of the false Arisen, I need to attend his coronation, and to grant access to that, I need to gain the people's trust, which meant I had some tasks to do. The first task at hand, I had to call monsters in 3 different locations: a cave, a village called Harve, and a bridge. On my way to the mine, I saw a Cyclops, like the one I fought earlier. Maybe I can roast this one to a crisp as well? Ouch.
Just in the nick of time. I thought I was done for. Tis hardly cowardice. No hope of victory.
Yeah, so I clearly was not ready for that. After countless battles, I made it to the first monster culling location, Trevor Mine.
The Velvet is working its ill effects upon the Arisen.
Oh!
shan't allow any further harm.
Mines are great places to gather ores, which can be used later to enhance equipment. I spent a lot of time in this cave, as you might expect. Why? Well, because I have no idea where I'm going, and there's monsters everywhere.
Thank you for healing.
Forgive me, Arisen. I shall see to it that this does not happen again.
I am glad I did spend the time inside this cave because I found myself an archery staff, which gave me access to the sorcerer vocation. And in this chest, a greatsword for the warrior vocation. It took me about 5 minutes to actually find my way out of the cave because, again, I had no idea where I was going. I made a camp later that day and rested till the next morning, because I don't think I'll be able to survive a night at this stage. I presented the greatsword and archery staff to the vocation guild, and I unlocked the warrior and sorcerer vocations. The sorcerer sounded a lot more powerful than the mage, so it was time to switch vocations. Why is there a boss health bar? Oh, I see it. And that was when I saw it, the soaring griffin in the flesh. Do you see those small rhombuses under its health bar? Yeah. Each of those is an additional health bar, which meant this griffin had 5 health bars. If I couldn't take out that Cyclops, I definitely was not ready for this. But that doesn't mean it wasn't ready for me. What? Oh no. Run! Now. I am not fighting that. There's no way I am fighting that. No way. And of course it's coming this way. Yeah, that... she just got one-shotted. Why? So that's how much... I'm not even bothering. I'm just gonna go in this direction. The guy just came in here, one-shot both of my pawns here and just left. So I made it out of that alive, somehow. The next hour, I finally got to test out the sorcerer. Yep, so just set everything on fire. Why not? I found a wake stone in a chest in the spirit's path. It's like a resurrection stone giving you a second life if you die. If you're wondering why I'm constantly doing this to regain stamina, it's because I didn't read about the weight mechanic yet, so I had absolutely no idea how it worked. I eventually made it to the bridge where the second monster culling was supposed to take place, and well, monster culling is exactly what happened. And lots of fires. I made it back to the capital after that and turned my main pawn into a mage because the team was lacking that healing and support. I saw another Cyclops again and well, why not attempt it? I was trying to figure out why my spells were just doing no damage to it, because it is hitting him. It turns out that the Cyclops actually has armor on its legs, and the spells were actually damaging the armor. That's why it was doing no damage, but I did not know that at this point. Can you like move please? And wait will once again be my downfall. I dug this grave in hour 2 when I chose not to read about it, and I lie in it in hour 5. And not just once I lied in that grave. I made my way to the collapsed mine. It was a lot quicker because, you know, it wasn't as convoluted as the previous one. And after about 20 minutes of traveling, I made it to Harve village. I'm gonna follow this guy, get destroyed, have a nice time. Yeah, let's do that. The third set of monsters that I needed to cull resided in a cave behind the village. After making it out of the cave, I had to help these poor civilians reclaim their home from these saurians. On my travels, I found a cavern, and in it had an ogre. Yeah, I wasn't doing that. I can't kill a Cyclops right now. There's no way I'm gonna kill that ogre. When I made it back to Vernworth, this lady asked me to occupy her home for a week because she won't be around to do it. So I gladly agreed because I'll get a place to sleep, and the best part, it'll be free. I'm not gonna explain how I got in here, just know that I enjoyed what I did. And I found my way out without anyone else knowing. Before I can progress the story any further, I needed to wait till nighttime to speak with Captain Brandt again. But I did not know that I could quick pass time by sleeping. So here I am. I spent about half an hour at this house trying to figure out how to break the lock from the inside to access the chest, but I just wasn't able to. After speaking with Captain Brandt, the next step is to infiltrate the Queen's office at the palace to learn what the Queen's been planning. Our 8 started off quite nicely. An ogre raided the palace, so I thought I'd leave it to terrorize the locals. Then it was time for some breaking and entering. I made my way into the castle office and I found a torn letter. After returning to Captain Brandt, he told me that there's been someone on castle grounds that has never supported the Queen in any way. And because of that, he's now in a prison cell.
Have you come to release me from this jail? Who are you?
I broke into the prison undetected to speak with the magistrate, and after a bit of a history lesson, I urged him to escape and he said no, because he'd constantly have to be on the run. But he'd be willing to escape if he had a place to go, such as a place with lots of books. After speaking with Kendrick and all of the children in the slums area of Vernworth, we entered a secret passage to find the missing kid and a large room filled with lots of books. I think the magistrate will be very happy to learn of this, but he won't be because I never told him. It was time to break into the palace again. This time I have to go in further. I have to make it all the way to the minister's chambers. And I did, and through a secret doorway lied a letter with the crest of Batal on it. So Vernworth and Batal have been in cahoots. I wonder what they've been up to.
Yours isn't a face I'm accustomed to seeing around the palace. How did you get in here?
But before I can make my escape, I got caught by Lady Wilhelmina. And for reasons unknown, she chose to keep my presence a secret and help me with my escape. The letter talked about securing Melv and something to do with the power of the God's Way. Then he mentioned something about a strange flower the Queen's been purchasing since the day the fake Arisen arrived, and that this flower only grows on the eastern edge of Vermont, which meant it can't be a coincidence and warrants investigation. A casual stroll along the streets in the city of Vernworth made me a witness to an event. Okay. Now, I'm not actually sure what caused this brawl, but I think it's kind of a bug, probably, because no one else in the city seems to be paying attention to it. Which brings us to the end of the first 10 hours I've spent in this game. I hope you guys enjoyed this journey as much as I did. If you like what you see, subscribe and hit the bell so you won't miss out in the future. And until the next one, go wreak some havoc. Oh, come on.